What's going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Goze checking in with one of the all-time greats in our sport. His name is Daniel Cormier, and of course, for some of you young folk, he did get down. He was a multi-weight class champion in the UFC, light heavyweight and heavyweight. And if you're new to the sport, then you've seen him behind the mic. He calls all the big fights along with Joe Rogan and John Anik. What up, DC? How are you? You're in the Big Apple, right?
Yeah, what's up, boys? It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I just wish that you guys would give me invites. I mean, just an invite would be nice every now and again. I mean, just an invite would be nice.
We'll work on it.
Goze,
Yeah,
I've
please.
offered to pick him up at the airport and bring him straight to a barbecue, and somehow he avoided me there. And you
Be
know, my
better
man
communicators, fellas. Be better communicators. It's the one thing I've learned as I've aged is to be a better communicator with your friends. And you two are not that. So
You know what?
take some
You don't know
ownership.
this, but one time we almost kidnapped you. Has George ever told you that
Take
story?
some ownership over this, boys.
Has George ever told you the story about when we almost
Woo.
kidnapped you?
Where are we at? Yeah, that would have been
Well,
fun.
it was in Vegas.
I'd have kicked you right in the nuts.
Well, tell him the story, Goze.
We George had an idea one time when we were driving around. He goes, "Hey, don't the UFC guys usually get in around this time?" And we go, "Let's just go to the airport. We'll grab them. We'll kidnap them. We'll take them out, and we'll just interview them while we're in the car." And while we were waiting for you, we actually ran into Hamzat and we did an interview with him.
Shut up.
But we never found you.
Well, because I always, when I go to Vegas for pay-per-views, I try to go in last minute as possible. It's 1 hour from San Jose, so it's 1 hour. Like, I don't have to come in the night before. So if you're ever planning to kidnap me, just do it on the day that, if it's a Thursday fighter meeting, Thursday morning, I'll be in town.
Let me fill in the story. DC had told me I get in Monday or Tuesday at this time. And so I at least knew the time. It's not like Ghost and I stalked the airport for 8 hours or nothing. And in doing so, I looked at San Jose flights. I figured Southwest. I don't know. I was looking and looking. But there may have been a chance you could have ducked this way or that way. I don't know if you have limos or Lincoln town cars that come get you, or if you go to passenger pickup, or what's going on. But in that process, we saw Hamzat Chimaev, so we were like, okay, well, it paid off, and we got him.
Good. You get Hamzat. He does great. He does great numbers.
Mm-hmm. Hey, DC. So let's start with this. I love your check-ins with the fighters on Fight Week. I don't think it's stressful because you can handle your own, right? But you obviously know when someone's coming through and they got something they got to say to you to clear up a beef. Is that pretty much every card now, or because
people are mad at me for something I've said?
Yeah.
They're always mad at me, man. I feel like I try to give people credit where credit is due. And I also feel like if there is some sort of that they've done that I should react negatively to, I do that. And I mean, I think that's my job, right? To just tell it as straight and as truthful as I can. But it is what it is, man. Even in those situations where guys are upset, they're always very respectful whenever they do approach me on it. I haven't had like a knockdown, drag out, yelling, screaming. The only time I had that was with Phil Hawes out in back in the day when he was yelling at me because of the Deron Wynn situation. But yeah, nobody else has kind of came at me that way. It's always a conversation.
What about when you fool around in the hotel wrestling and stuff? Does it ever pick up to a point where like, ooh, it's starting to pick up here, like with somebody that's not feeling it, like, hey,
I'll never.
No,
I don't do it, right? When they start trying to engage with me, I'm playing, I just let them win. Whatever. Because the thing is, if you start like kind of going back, then you run the risk of the fighter getting hurt, or you doing, God forbid. Imagine if Hamzat Chimaev is like wrestling me and I sprawl on him. And then Hamzat Chimaev has like scrapes on his leg and he can't fight. Like, it's the worst. You can't. Yeah, I never respond in a way that would challenge those guys. So we mess around and we tussle a little bit. And then the moment they start to go a little bit, I go, okay, you win, and I'll let them pick me up or do whatever. Because I'm not trying to get nobody hurt, man. That would be awful.
Yeah, did you ever see when Coleman was messing around with Rogan? It might have been a post-fight, but man, Coleman can still, when he has to. I think he put him up against the wall or something like that.
Yeah, you don't lose it. Like, you don't lose it, man. I was actually wrestling and stuff last night, and I was like, still got pretty good takedown defense.
What do you miss the most, DC, aside from the fight? I'm going to give you 5 things, and if it's none of those, then just go, it's none of those, and here it is.
Yeah.
Aside from, when you were fighting, what did I have my list out here? Walking, the walkout is one of them. Buffer announcing your name. Maybe I think you went through both eras of the ceremonial weigh-ins used to be the real weigh-in,
Yep.
So standing out there and soaking up the crowd and just the relief that that's done. You talk to Rogan, you go eat, and then boom, you're fighting in 24 hours. Where the fuck's my list? Oh, the press conference. Did you dig the press conference, the interaction, then the actual face-off, or maybe even just the post-fight party? Aside from the fight itself, what did you miss the most? What do you miss the most?
Honestly, like all those things are awesome. But I think the thing that you miss the most in retirement, it doesn't even happen around the fans. It happens in the gym whenever you train. And those days where nothing else mattered but what you had just done, and then you and the guys just sit around and you talk. The camaraderie. That's the thing I miss the most. I was talking to Khabib last night, and we're joking around and laughing, and it just takes you back to that, right? Where you had this young Russian kid that didn't speak much English, and it was me and Kane and Josh Thompson and all these guys, and we would train, and we're drenched in sweat, and we're just sitting on the mat for 30 minutes after practice, just talking. That's what you miss. That's what you miss the most in the fighting. If you did it right, if you had a great team, that's what you miss. Sure, you miss the walk, you miss the excitement of the fight, the relief after a win. But man, what you never can recapture is all that time you had in the gym with people that matter to you, and the time you're able to spend with them, all working towards a common goal. That's the thing you miss the most, or at least I do.
You caught me off guard there. I mean, it's an excellent answer, and I believe
Yeah,
you. But
that's the
I
one.
honestly thought there would be that goosebump moment that where you're like, ooh,
The
like
goosebumps, all that are great, right? Like, man, I've lived some big moments in my life. I mean, the pride I felt before I wrestled in the Olympic Games was like nothing I'd felt before in my life. The joy of winning a belt was awesome. But you can have things in life that, while the excitement of it doesn't match it completely, it fills that little void, right? What you can't recreate is that. Because there will never be a time anymore where I have enough time, Khabib has enough time, Kane has enough time, Luke has enough time that we can all just sit there and do that. We have families now. We have life now. There are just so many things that don't allow for it to happen. Where if I get a new job, right? When I get a new job or I get a great deal, I get excited and I can feel that rush of this new thing like I felt whenever I was becoming a world champion. But I don't have that camaraderie anymore in my life. It's crazy. It's sad because I you get more in life, right? And you get the ability to have these great jobs and travel, but I spend more time alone than I ever did in my entire life. It's crazy.
what?
I'm by
Really?
myself. Like, look at me right now.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Okay.
I'm just kind of like, it's like I didn't do that when I was fighting, right? I spend more time now alone than I ever have.
All right. I got a few more, but let's get Goze
Yep.
in. Goze, what do you have for DC, former champ in the UFC, now calling the fights at UFC 322 on Saturday?
I don't know why, but I got a little sentimental with some of the stuff he's saying, so I got to give him his flowers. What you were talking about earlier, where fighters sometimes try and come at you. I think we see
Yeah.
that in all parts of life. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you don't have a belt wrapped around your waist, that's a tall order when they're coming at you, right? And so
Yeah.
there's like an old quote that says, when you're really good at something, you tell the world. But when you're great, the world tells you. And I
Yeah.
think halfway through those arguments, they probably realize, what am I doing here? What am I trying to convince this dude? He's seen it all. You're the man, DC.
True.
So I don't
Thank you.
think I think maybe it's just the young lion trying to get their lick, and then they just realize this ain't gonna work out for me. But
Yeah, well,
you've earned that.
yeah, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate the way people treat me and the way they interact with me. It's
Mhm.
awesome, man, because you do, as the older guy, want the respect of the fighters, and I think I got that in most part.
Yeah, we see a lot. Even some of the fighters that a lot of us consider great. How much time do they spend trying to convince us they're great? Right?
Yeah.
Jon Jones, Ronda Rousey, they're out there trying to tell you I'm great. There are certain fighters that don't have to do that. You don't
Nah, I
spend a lot
try.
of time telling people you're great. GSP doesn't sit around doing interviews telling them, "Hey, what about when I did?" They're just great, right? But
Yeah.
let me get to this weekend's card. I have a question for you in the co-main event. These ladies are very well rounded. Is this a possibility, this fight? I know we're going to talk about it a lot on Saturday, but I think even years to come afterwards, because I think one of them could maybe take a spot on Mount Rushmore for female MMA or take another girl's spot. What do you think?
I think this is the greatest female fight of all time. Now, Holly Holm Ronda Rousey will always be, in my opinion, the biggest fight in female mixed martial arts history. 60,000 people, a boxing world champion versus Ronda, the woman that brought mixed martial arts in the UFC for females. That'll always be the biggest fight. I believe this is the best female fight we've ever seen. Cyborg versus Amanda would be second because the skill level is so high. Zhang Weili is as good of a fighter, male or female, in the world, but so is Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina has beaten so many people. When you start to look into the records, Valentina's title fight wins are now starting to rival some of the greats like Jon Jones and Anderson Silva and all those people that felt like their records were unattainable. Zhang Weili has completely dominated the 150-pound, 15-pound weight class since she got that belt back from Carla Esparza. It's been nothing but domination by these two women. Yes, I believe that they're both on the female Mount Rushmore, and I believe that they will go down in history as two of the greatest fighters, regardless of gender, to ever step foot in the UFC's octagon.
Very high praise. As we look up and down this card, we come across a lot of fighters where you could probably say there's a lot of pressure on certain individuals. And one I want to talk about is Bo Nickal. Couple weeks ago we were talking about Gable Stevenson and
Yep.
his potential. Same thing kind of with Bo Nickal. And when those names come up, we always point to you because we say your road wasn't very quick. You took your time. And
Mhm.
we always tell the story of when you were in our studio and you said, I'm not even allowed to kick. They won't even let me kick. I'm dying to do it. They won't let me do it. You took your time. But in this case here, in Bo Nickal, when you look at your own career, had you had a hiccup a little earlier in your career, how do you think you would have reacted, and what advice would you have for somebody like Bo Nickal in this
I
moment right now?
I believe that. So I took my time, right? They waited, but again, I was older, so I didn't have as much time as Bo. But I learned because I had some of the best guys in the gym, and I completely turned my training over to my coaches, Javier Mendez and Bob Cook, and those guys were the best. They guided me along the way and made sure that I was doing everything when I needed to do those things. Now, for Bo Nickal, I don't think it's time to hit the panic button. So many people are hitting this panic button like his career's over, like he's done. The Bo Nickal experience was a failure. I don't think that's true. I think we should give more credit to Rainier DeRitter for being as good as he was. I don't even know how we treated this dude who was a double champion in one of the biggest fight organizations in the entire world like he was a second thought. DeRitter's good. He's always been good. And maybe Bo just wasn't ready for that moment yet. But if he's gone back home and he's just kind of released the reins to his coaches, the sky's still the limit. There's only two American wrestlers that are our two best hopes as Americans for a champion that are wrestlers. It starts with Gable Steveson. Right behind him is still Bo Nickal. There's no one else. It's still Bo Nickal. And I believe that if Bo gets the job done this weekend, we as MMA fans are short memory. And I believe that everything will be right back on track, especially if he looks good this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about the main event
Mm-hmm.
and back to the word pressure. Who do you think has the most pressure in that situation?
I mean, you always put the pressure on the champion, right? You're the one that has the potential to lose the belt. That would be the easy answer. The pressure's on Islam. Islam Makhachev is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, right? People expect him to win in what is a very difficult fight. This will be the toughest fight of his career, but people expect him still to get the job done. That's why there's pressure. And you're the guy that left your belt to go pursue another one. So pressure's on Islam because going into the fight this weekend, everybody knows he gave up the belt. So in their minds, they still view him as a champion. You go lose to Jack. Now you, for the first time in a really long time, you're not the champion in any way, shape, or form.
Do you agree with the UFC saying you got to give that one up before you pursue your second one? Because it's kind of cool when it is champ versus champ.
Yeah.
Now, where I think the UFC could have met them in the middle is we'll give you the opportunity, Islam. And if you win, no disrespect to JDM, but let's just say he does win, right? Then you got 30 days to go back to Dagestan, do a world tour, do whatever you want. But in 30 days, you got to tell us now which one are you giving up. You ain't going to do the whole going back and forth because that's tough. Only you, Cejudo, Amanda, a few other, maybe one other.
Nobody goes back. Once you step on that scale and you win the heavier belt, you don't go back. It just doesn't happen. I mean, Amanda went back a couple times, but Henry went up, stayed up. I went up, stayed up. You just stay up because life is just so much better when you don't have to cut the massive amounts of weight.
Mhm.
But I just think that the UFC's made a decision that they're not doing the simultaneous champion anymore. And it was evident when Islam did it, right? Sure, they made Ilya go up because he had only won the belt and then defended it once. And obviously, he didn't really have any clear challengers. So they made him go up. But when they made Islam give up that belt, I said, oh, yeah, they're not doing double champ anymore. No more simultaneous. Because honestly, it's just not the same, right? It's been done now 4 times. The first time, it was crazy because no one's ever seen it. But then I go and do it, right? And then I defend both. So now you've matched that level. Then Amanda does it, and Amanda defends both of them at the same time, 35 and 45. So what more can you really do as a simultaneous world champion?
Right. So you like it that they give it up and they just everyone moves on.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, because I'm pretty sure there's got to be some built-in assurances that if you lose, you do get an opportunity back at that belt that you gave up.
Mhm.
I don't know this as fact, but I can't imagine that the people that go up to fight don't think about that. And you remember Izzy tried to do it too, and he lost. I think Izzy might have been the last one that they let keep his belt and then go back and still be the champion.
I just love that moment with the 2 belts, but
It
I
is
also don't
awesome.
like when they take 6 months to decide, and now you got 2 weight classes on hold. I don't like that.
But that's why they're making you give up the belt.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I asked this to Merab Dvalishvili the other day. I saw him at the park. I'm not sure he understood it. So I'm going to ask you. Valentina's going for her 9th title defense, and Zhang Weili is going for her 2nd belt. We often talk about what's the greater accomplishment. You were a champ, right? But let's just say you had spent more time at heavyweight and you had 5 title defenses. And the one thing everyone can say is DC's the greatest heavyweight ever. Looking back, would you have wanted that? Or did you like being part of the champ fraternity? Here's why I asked DC, because when MMA Junkie did the 30 greatest fighters ever back in, I think it was 2023. Yeah, it was to celebrate the 30 years of the UFC, which started in 1993. At the top, and we all voted. There was like 12 of us that voted. It just seemed like it was GSP, DJ,
Longer
Anderson,
reigning champion.
Jones, and I was like, wait a minute, what do they have in common? They all have title defenses at 9, 10, and 11. So it seems like that's that distinguishable level of greatness, maybe that kind of is slightly above the next wave, which is the champs. Would you agree?
I think that for people that have been around the sport a lot longer, that is the how it's measured, because that's what you saw, right? It seemed impossible to do that. It seemed impossible to go up and fight and win another belt because GSP was unwilling to try it. Anderson was unwilling to try it. They couldn't even get those guys to fight each other just to fight without the belts on the line because weight classes were in place for a reason. So you
Hmm.
stayed where you were and you racked up title defenses. And then Connor opened the door for it to be a possibility, but then he never defended the belt. If Connor would have defended the belts a few times, I bet when you guys were betting or voting, it would have been held to a higher standard, especially if we never did it, right? Because once we did it after him, it became possible. But before, you were looking at something that was impossible because no one even was willing to try it because the weight classes scared them so much. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So because Connor did it, I did it, Amanda did it, Henry did it, it became a little more normal, right? When in
Yeah.
reality, it's not normal. So yes, the long reigning champion's great, but a lot of times the long reigning championship, you have some names on there that aren't necessarily the best in terms of title defenses. Valentina's defended the belt 9 times now, right? She's
8.
beaten some
Going for 9.
8, going for 9. She has beaten some savages on the way. But mixed in there, I think there's a fight. Tell me some of the lower name fighters that are on that title defense list. And honestly, Jones the same way. To his own words, right? John went through a murderer's row and he was always up and he always fought at that level. But then at the end, the reason he thought his fights were closer was because the level of competition wasn't the same. The Thiago Santos and the Anthony Smith and the Dominic Reyes, he couldn't get up for those challenges. And on every long reigning title list, there are some of those fights that are kind of just numbers.
I can't keep track, by the way, of great answer, by the way. Sorry to pivot so fast. I want to be cognizant of the time. I can't keep track if I know you and Jones go through ups and downs where you're like maybe homies, maybe a fist bump, and then
We've
like,
never been homies.
well, you remember when you guys had parents that had passed away and you guys were cordial and
But yes,
respectful.
because that's bigger than fighting.
You're
That's
right.
bigger
And
than
then right
fighting.
now, you just said some pretty nice things about him, and he'll obviously maybe do that for you too. I don't watch a lot of him, honestly. But what happens if he's in New York? You guys get on the first floor elevator, and you're both on the 50th floor. Are you
I
guys
don't know.
fighting before you get to the top, or is it cool? Can you
I
maintain
don't think
a
we're gonna be fighting
conversation?
each other. Like, I mean, we're both like older now, right? I'm 46 years old. John is how old? 40 almost. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We're older. We're older now. So I don't think that the blood is boiling as hot as it was then. I don't think that we're shaking hands. I think that we just kind of talk to whoever we're with in the elevator to make sure that we're not talking to each other. I think that's probably
Oh wow.
what would happen. Yeah.
Oh, so okay, so you don't even want to talk to him. But you don't have to.
I just don't think we need to. Like, we don't need to be friends. I think like I just believe that so many people feel like everything has to have a happy ending, and that's not the case. There's no skin off my back. Like, I don't really have any ill feelings towards him in that regard. But it's like just because time has passed doesn't mean that we have to let go of everything that we said during that time or did during that time. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Do you agree with what he said that sorry, it was Ngannou that said the biggest fight is him versus Jones. Jones is saying is kind of posturing towards him and Pereira. My question to you is what is the biggest fight the UFC can make at this moment?
I think the biggest fight,
You can even throw anything related to McGregor, I guess, or because he's
honestly,
technically in the
McGregor,
pool.
anything McGregor is going to be big. It's I don't care what people think of him. The general fan knows Conor McGregor, and the general fan always tunes in when Conor McGregor fights. It's just the truth. The biggest fight the UFC can make now, Francis Ngannou versus Jones,
Mm-hmm.
is right up there, number 1 or 2. Competitively, the best fight the UFC can make right now is Islam and Ilya. I think that's the most competitive fight the
Mm-hmm.
UFC can make. And problem is they're just not as known, right? Outside of MMA. But the biggest fight obviously would involve Conor McGregor versus someone. But Jones and Ngannou is right there. That's number 2.
I've been to fight weeks before, not in a long time, but I know that hotel
Why?
can be
Why?
a
Why
little,
don't you go anymore?
because we do watch alongs from home. So we
Yeah.
basically cater to the audience that doesn't pay for the pay-per-view, and we tell them what's happening in real time. And we're going to have one this Saturday, folks. UFC 282. Watch along with Goze and I, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
How's
4
that do for you
prelim
guys?
fights. What's that?
How's that do? You got some fans watching everything?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got thousands of fans that watch throughout the world.
Nice.
They just can't afford the $80. Luckily, that's going to change with the Paramount-era, but I don't know what every country's like, if they have Paramount Plus or
Yeah,
what's going
for
on with
sure.
that. But no, I mean, look, we used to have fun times there, but I know it can be a rumor mill. Have you heard anything? Can you give us a Tom Aspinall update? Can he see now or whatever? Or
Last I heard, he still can't see.
shit.
Last I heard, he still can't see. So people trying to act like this guy was faking, it's crazy. They're saying he still can't. I haven't heard from Tom. Maybe I'll shoot him a message and see. Hold on, let me see if I can message Tom real quick and see if he'll answer.
There
All
you
right.
go.
Let me see if
Are
I
you
can
going to keep it to yourself? Or are you going to share it with us?
No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you if I can see Big Tom's.
You thought that was going to be a message that says Daniel Cormier going live on YouTube in 5 minutes?
All right. Well, while you do that,
All right, let me see if he responds yet. I
okay.
don't know what time it is there in England.
Right now it's 10:39, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, yeah, it is 10:39, so he should still be up, I think.
PM or AM?
PM.
Okay.
They're 8 hours ahead of the Pacific time zone. They're
Pacific.
5.
Let me see what the champ answers.
Okay. In the meantime, here's another one for you. What fight would you like to be in the fight wing of the UFC Hall of Fame if one day you were to be anointed that honor? So which
Probably the
of your
Gustafson.
fights would you agree was, man, that was the one?
Gustafson or Josh Barnett. It's either Barnett or Gustafson. I grew up in the Barnett fight. The Gustafson fight, it was hard, man.
That was a
I
split
got beat
decision,
up.
right?
Was that?
That was a split decision, right? Against Gusti?
Split decision.
Yeah.
Tough fight. Blood everywhere. Battered, bruised. This guy beat me up, man. It was tough. You ever this is guy. That's the guy that that's the guy that uh that really pushed me and made me work. Hold on, I'm trying to get this message. Okay, no, he hasn't checked it yet. Okay.
All right. What would have been your second choice for a walkout song if you could do it all over again? I mean, not to say you didn't like yours or anything,
I
but
had it right, man. I don't know. I had it right. It just that was the right song. I never once I got that song, I never thought about anything else. It was
okay.
just the right song for me
I heard it the
to
other
walk
day.
the
I
fight.
forget who walked out to it. I'm like, do they check in with DC on that or?
And isn't that crazy though? Like even still, when you hear that song, whether you're in life or at an arena, you go, "Oh, that's DC's walkout song," because it just kind of fit right from the horns to the Louisiana to the Lil Wayne. It all kind of worked.
What champion is playing his or her cards right at this moment? So take all the females and all the males. Who can you say I like what they're doing? Like for example,
Merab.
Dvalishvili, he's
It's
smashing
Merab.
people, he's staying
Yeah.
active. And then there's others that are like pursuing the second belt. There's others
Yeah.
that are hanging back. Let the division unfold. Who do you like the way their swag is, the way they're conducting themselves right now?
I think it's Merab. I think it's Merab
So you like the
because
activity?
oh my God, because Merab is making his own way. You know, so many people do things. So many guys and girls have been champions, but this guy is doing it in a way that nobody's ever done it before. That's what I like. I like that Merab is just, you know what? I'm just gonna fight. I feel good enough. And what's most impressive is that this dude has hard weight cuts, and he just fights and fights and fights. If we didn't cut as much weight, if the weight management wasn't as hard, we would have been more active. Merab has those weight cuts, and he's still fighting 4 times in one calendar year. I think it's Merab, man, because what he went from a guy that people didn't really pay attention to a guy that's almost universally loved, and that's only because he's ever present. He's always fighting. He's always doing stuff to make sure that people care. So yeah, it's Merab for me.
Just a little quick pushback on that, DC. But I agree. I love his activity. But what about, remember Alex Pereira stayed busy, and then now they're saying that he just wasn't healthy for his fight. RDR, we mentioned him earlier. He had 5 fights in the UFC, 6 if you had the one overseas, like almost in 1 year. At some point, all the weight cuts, the mental
Yeah,
stress and pressure, like isn't it good to maybe go, all right, now I'm gonna breathe for 6 months. I had a busy 2025.
yeah,
See you midway through 2026. Is there something to that though?
yeah. I mean, I think so. I remember Bisping made a point that it's just not healthy to keep going, and to a point, I agree. But I mean, man, when you can do it, you're making money, you're in the prime of your life, you're in shape, you're healthy, you're winning fights that aren't as hard. He's dominating these guys. He is honestly dominating right now in this title reign. And I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be fighting right now.
Okay.
DC, if we have this same conversation a year from now, same date, what two champs are you sure will still have their belts?
It's a tough one because I mean I would have said Valentina and Weili, honestly, but they're fighting each other this weekend. I think Pantoja is a pretty safe one. Uh Man, nobody else is safe. There is not a person that's safe. Seriously. Yeah, I mean, even Pantoja is not safe. Now that I'm thinking about some of the people that are waiting. I mean, hell, he's fighting this kid in December. That is insane.
Hmm.
What's Josh Van?
Joshua Van.
Josh
Yeah.
Van's insane. Yeah, I'm taking Pantoja off. I can't tell you. There's nobody safe.
We're at 31 minutes. Are you still okay?
Yeah, a few more minutes. I can do a few more.
Okay. Fighters that over the last few weeks I've heard of. I was 40% 2 years ago. I was 50%, Usman 30% 10 years, whatever. It I'm a fan and a media member. As a fan, I fucking hate it. As a
Yeah,
media member,
same.
I'm like, oh, how about you as a former fighter, former champ, and also media member? How does that go over to you and your fraternity of also fighters when you hear this?
I would just save it. It doesn't do you any good. Nobody cares enough to feel sorry for you if you got beat. There's no point in saying it. It just doesn't help anything. It just sounds like sour grapes. So yeah, it annoys people. I wouldn't do it.
What's one video game that 99.9% of the planet cannot beat you at? Only the top esports pros can.
FC, FC 26. People
Really?
can't beat me. People can't beat me in this game, man. I'm amazing in this game.
Yeah, I'm pretty good too.
I would beat the shit out of you.
Yeah,
You
like
play
I would to
PlayStation,
you, like I would to you in ping pong.
you would never beat me in ping pong.
Goes inform this fool.
He's got a lot of skins on his wall. Dan Henderson's on there, Ricardo Lamas. Who
Slow
else?
hands, man. Slow hands. Big power, slow hands. If you got fast hands, ping pong is your sport. That's me.
No.
All right, pay-per-view points. They're going to be gone in 2026. What do you think the fighters and their camps are going to look after? Because I guess it'll just be views on Paramount Plus. What's that metric, I guess, that now
Yeah.
fighters should look after themselves to make sure that they keep getting paydays and bigger paydays? Because obviously we always want the money to keep getting better.
Well, you just build your brand. You just keep building your brand, right? Merab Dvalishvili, fighting, building his brand. I wouldn't be surprised if Merab already has a new contract, right? These guys that fight and build their brand are going to be fine. Let me tell you something, man. A very small percent of fighters are the ones that bring that value, right? They fill the arenas, they sell the tickets, they sell the pay-per-views, they bring the views. And I believe that those people will be taken care of. And again, it'll trickle down to everyone else. I think that fighters are about to make more money in their life than they've ever made. And I think good times are on the horizon for these guys and girls.
Do you want Jon Jones to fight at the White House personally? You think he'd be, and I say that because we need Americans.
I
I think
told
it'd
you
be
that.
nice.
I told Chael this. I go, hey man, I don't know. I don't care about me and him, our history. If we need an American guy to win, we gotta go to Albuquerque. Hey, I might not want to ride in the elevator with Jones, but if we need an American to go get a victory and they need somebody to sell him on it, I'll get on the plane to Albuquerque and I'll go sell him with the rest of the group to go and get a victory for America because he wins. You can't take that away from the guy. He wins. And yes, we need Americans, and we need an American that's going to go get us the victory.
Is that Tom Aspinall hitting you back?
Well, I'm checking my phone right now.
Who's going to win Champions League this year?
Bayern Munich.
Hey, he's got an answer for us. He is a hardcore. I like it.
Bayern Munich, buddy. Hey, it might not be great, but Bayern Munich. What about the fact that Harry Kane just scores every single game, and this dude just don't seem to get the respect and love that everybody gets?
I
It's
know.
crazy, isn't it?
I know. 'Cause I'm a big Wayne Rooney fan, but I got to admit, man, England's best striker ever might just be Harry Kane.
I mean, he scores every single game. He's been playing for Bayern Munich for now 2 years.
Yeah, something like that.
He already has 100 and something goals.
Jeez,
it's crazy.
It is. Have you ever met Ronaldo, by the way, in Abu Dhabi or Dubai? Have you ever met Ronaldo?
No, never met Ronaldo. Bayern Munich will be very tough to beat, and so will Arsenal. Arsenal's going to be very tough. I like Arsenal. It's my favorite team. Love them.
You always change it. I think it was City like a year ago, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't City. I never loved City. No, I like playing with them on the game. I like City, but my favorite team is Arsenal. You know what got me with Arsenal? I was able to watch, it was the All In on Prime back during the pandemic, and I was like, yo, I love this team. Because I think Mikel Arteta is a genius. His mind is so great. And then all the players now, all those people they brought in this year, number one on the Premier League table right now.
I hope they don't bottle it. I hope they don't bottle it like last year, though.
Do you know I play fantasy soccer?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm that into it now.
All right. Well, listen, this has been awesome. I hope we can do it more often. I know you're busy, so don't worry. I'm not going to hit you up in 2 weeks.
You guys are the best.
But I love having you on, and you've done so much in the sport, so we can kind of ask you about a lot, like what we did now. I hope you enjoy the card. It's a great fight card on paper. I've been telling everyone you have every right to look at a card, not this one, but other ones and go, But man, once the action occurs, give it another grade, right?
Yes.
Like last week, we had 5 KO or 5 finishes on the main card on a card that wasn't jumping out at you.
Don't grade those fight cards based on the names. Go and watch the product because these fighters are killing it right now.
I agree. All right,
you don't sell something for $1.1 billion a year if it ain't good. And it's pretty good. I love the fights, man. I did an Apex show a couple weeks ago and it was awesome. Hey, and a whole bunch of fouls and crazy shit be happening now. Dude, I don't know what's going on in MMA. It's as the world turns. I'm here for all the juice, dude. This shit is funny.
Yeah. I mean, there's some unfortunate stuff that also went down. I hope that's
crazy.
I hope
low
that's not
blow.
something.
Low blow. Hey, one guy gets low blow, 1 point. Another guy gets poked in the eye, restart. Poked in the eye, fight stops, restart the fight, no point taken. It was like, oh my God, this is great. It's great.
Yeah. DC, thanks as always for the time, man. Hopefully you can chop it up next time you're in Vegas, down the road or whatever. 2026 when there's a whole bunch of new stuff coming our way, like CBS and Paramount Plus and a bunch of other fight bookings.
Yes, awesome. Thank you guys for having me again. See you boys later.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.